Hey guys, it's Shelby and Michelle with Farmhouse Living and welcome back to our channel. Today we are answering a, I feel like somewhat controversial question, and it is...
Well, try not to be offensive though.
You are all. The question is the farmhouse style dead? Today we are talking about where we feel like the trend is going, and you're gonna like this, what we're moving on from.
Okay, that's really tacky. Really bad. We're gonna talk about how tacky cows are unless you do them right.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's talk about it.
Okay.
I just want to preface this video with my concern with calling any style dead, whether it's mid-century modern or farmhouse or, you know, boho, whatever it is that calling, just throwing an entire style out gives people design paralysis, where they just can't move on because they think that if they do start designing, we're just gonna toss it all to the curb. Right. So let's talk about this, what happened with the style before. What was before farmhouse?
You mean the tacky, like...
No.
Oh.
Before Chip and Joanna hit the scenes, it was early 2000s. What was Michelle Wallace doing?
Oh yeah, it was Tuscan. Everything was
faux
finish, big plaster walls, all of that.
Yeah, a lot of wrought iron, and I mean, we still see it today, that people have leftover elements from the Tuscan style. And so would you say that Tuscan is dead?
No, Tuscan's not dead, because you can actually do a play on it with more of a European farmhouse flair. Maybe not the heavily faux finished walls, but if you brighten your walls a little bit and take some of those same elements, you can create a really cool European farmhouse.
Yeah, so really, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are things that we disposed of, and there are things that we kept, and I feel like we're going the same direction with farmhouse.
Yes, I agree. So farmhouses were originally built to actually house farmers.
Yeah.
They were used the materials from the field when they cleared the wood and all the rocks and stone, and they built themselves a dwelling. And they were outdoors quite a bit, so the inside was just more functional with a kitchen.
Yeah. Their supplies were actually from nature. There wasn't a lot of fuss in their home, and everything in the home was practical.
Right.
And so that's the root of it. And I feel like that's kind of, I mean, you said it in our first video that we ever put on the YouTube channel, that you felt like that was kind of something the Lord was doing in the earth. He was calling us to the simpler things. Like when you think about like everything that's going on, the world's crazy, and like having a space to actually rest, and to me that's like the essence of farmhouse, is the simplicity and you know.
Yeah, farmers worked 12-15 hour days, and what they came home to was just their place of rest.
Yep. When farmhouse, the original farmhouse, OG, like we were in the fixer-upper, Joanna Gaines taught us about shiplap, we all went nuts. And we did some things that were a little cheese ball.
Yeah.
We put words on every wall.
Every wall.
Farm, farm, farm. We had cows.
All the animals.
All the animals. Chickens.
Right.
Galvanized. I mean, if it was galvanized, you know, there is such thing as too much of a good thing.
Yeah, and while we really do love farm animals, and we still use them in our design, they're a little more sophisticated now.
Yeah, so really, all that cheesy stuff, we took, similar to Tuscan, we're throwing out the bad, and we're bringing it, we're taking with us the good, the root of what farmhouse is, and we're adding a splash of sophistication and just making it all put together. So we're gonna talk about what we feel like is forever in farmhouse. Like, what are the timeless pieces of this particular style that will stay forever, and we're going to pull from our home tours examples so you can practically apply them to your house. This is something we've talked about. This first one we've talked about a lot, and it's anything from nature. So Mom, you're the queen of this. Your house is like...
It is. I love that whatever comes from the earth. what got it made. The wood, the stone, again, that's what farmers used.
Yeah.
And we use it still today.
Like, you have the stone. They're always, your stone fireplace, although it's completely different, it was stone when you moved in here. You just added another layer of nature on it.
Right.
To give it, you know,
a little update, modern look.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, in our last home tour, Jessica, she had a actual like wood framing around her sink and actually quartzite apron on her sink as well. And so we're seeing these materials in these designs. They're just in a new, different, unique way.
I love Jessica's because while she has a feel of coastal in her home, it also has a European feel just because of all of the natural elements that she uses.
Yeah. The nature-inspired elements, those will always last because that's what we're seeing repeated from Tuscan, Farmhouse, whatever happened before that. I wasn't alive. You were. Tell them.
Well, we did Southwestern for a while.
But, I mean, there's things from that, the plants and the...
Yeah.
I mean, even Adobe and, like, those, you're seeing that still today, and it never really left. To some degree, it was applied.
Right, and now it's just called boho.
Yeah. So you're always going to see anything that is in these styles from nature will carry on. So just might change where you put it. You might put it in a new place. You might stain it a different color if it's wood. You might put, you know, a layer of mortar on, like your fireplace. So you might add a little change, but you're not going to have to rip out
everything.
Right. So if it's from nature, it's in.
It's in
forever. This is, I feel like some people will say this is not timeless, but I'm going to argue the point. The accent walls, board and batten, shiplap, picture boarding, wallpaper, those things are timeless to a degree.
Yes.
So we toured the Morrow House in Waco, and her shiplap was original. That is never going to go out of style.
Right.
It's something that adds a layer of character to the home. We see that done with board and batten too. So board and batten was how they built houses, and so I feel like a lot of people now are doing that to the exterior of their home. Now, are we gonna have to change, you know, colors, tones, things we took too far, like accents? Yes, and did we overplay shiplap? Maybe.
But maybe not.
Maybe not. But I think touches of it is really great. Like, we toured Lindsay. She has a modern farmhouse in Dallas, and she had vertical shiplap on her fireplace. I wouldn't probably call her entire living room farmhouse. I would call it somewhat mid-century, but that shiplap is not...
Just used in a different way.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome.
Yeah. Millwork, just a little bit of accent, adding character, I do not think is going to go out of style.
I don't think so either.
So, don't be afraid to do it.
And especially with the wallpaper, we were all scared because we went crazy with wallpaper and it was a nightmare to remove. But today's wallpapers are way more functional and easier to peel off. Some of them are just simply peel and stick. You can change them out as much as you like.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't think accent walls are going anywhere. I think accent walls have always been, they always will be. They just might need a coat of paint.
That's right.
In a couple years. So the third element from Farmhouse is neutral tones. So almost every home tour we've done, including our own, is based with neutral tones. With, I mean, some pops of accent colors, but pretty neutral, cozy. And I think that is the essence of Farmhouse. We do love color.
Right, we love color. And we use it in certain areas, but I think it goes back to the whole earthy feel. Even when you think about, which is our favorite now, is European Farmhouse. It just has all the natural elements that bring in a warm and cozy feel.
Yeah, so if you look at these homes, you'll see pops of color. Our friend Joanna's house, we toured her home, I don't know, a couple months ago, and she has color everywhere. But if you really look at the foundation of her home, it's still neutral. So
Right.
she just layered those colors in so she can pull it back. So if you're ever afraid to make a decision, like you want to be bold, you're really kind of artsy-fartsy, or you like a pop, maybe paint your walls white and really go accent really boldly with, you know, decor, pillows, rugs. I mean, you can go wild with rugs.
You really can.
Neutrals, if you're worried, just go neutral, and then layer in those things that are really easy to pull back and move into the next trend. Okay, so I also think something that we won't see go anywhere is antiques and vintage items. So found things are always going to be cool.
Well, because too, if they tell a story for your family, you don't want to get rid of those pieces. So to work them into any decor, even we see very modern farmhouse with vintage elements, and we love that.
Yeah. So Joanna, who I was talking about with colors, she has a lot of thrifted estate sale finds. Our friend Michelle Howell, I mean, queen of all the thrifted found items, and she does it so well, but still so clean, not fussy. And she might have to, you know, take away layers or add things, but there are things that she will have for the rest of her life. Yeah, same with our friend Shannon. They're just really, really great at using things that they treasure hunt for.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, we're getting better at it.
We are. We're
We're
hanging around with enough cool kids that we're starting to understand that.
Yeah, it's a skill, but definitely if you find those things, those are the things you pass down. You can learn to layer that into your style, tell a story, add character.
Monica Amick.
Monica, good night.
She's great at that. Her kids have little sticky notes on the things that they want when she passes them down. So.
Yeah, they literally have been claiming things, so she's not getting rid of any of it. So lots of our home tours, almost every single one, I would say, incorporated found. I mean, there's, like, Lindsay's very modern. She didn't have a lot of found finds, but I mean, Jessica had found items. Almost all of them did, but even with Lindsay's, her house is very modern, but she could add like a vintage trunk or something like that, and it would layer in just fine. She wouldn't have trouble doing that. So
that's right. You
can never go wrong with a good found, vintage, thrifted, treasure hunted thing. Okay, our very last thing that I feel like will never go out of style, that is birthed from the farmhouse. You're on the edge. I know you don't know.
I don't know what she's going to say.
It's simple and uncluttered.
Oh, so true.
So we made this mistake. The world, we're guilty of making this mistake as Farmhouse came into play. We went full-blown cluttered. I mean, we couldn't have more word art. We collected, we just attacked TJ Maxx Home Goods for Ray Dunn. And we had, it was bursting at the seams. I mean, big clocks, every chicken, every pig, every cow. Our walls were stuffed to the brim.
Yes.
And the thing is, it stole every bit of sophistication from the design.
Yes.
But on top of that, it wasn't true to what Farmhouse really is.
Right.
Farmhouse is unfussy. It's not cluttered at all. It's simple.
Well, again, it was that place, I've said it a couple times, but where they came back to rest.
Yep.
Where they came to get nourished and fed and rest. And so we want our homes to look like that today because we need it. Yep. We all need a place to come home and rest.
Yeah. Your house is clearly, you did a really good job leaving white space, intentional white space, having a defined focal point, your fireplace. I feel like a lot of people make that mistake. They want to fill all the walls, but having a defined focal point and then leaving space for rest around that. Actually, we got a comment on Jessica's home tour that this house has the perfect amount of stuff.
Wow.
And so I think that's true in a lot of our tours. that we've seen that are farmhouse is there is stuff. I mean, if you're into home decor, it's really hard sometimes to kind of pare down and be like, okay, it's done.
What I like to do, and I just did this recently, is I'll move everything out of the kitchen or a space and then put it back.
Yep.
So that I'll know, okay, I went too far, I want to pare it down, and that helps me.
Yep, that's a good tip. So, let's recap our 5 total. Materials from nature.
My favorite.
Yep. Accent walls. Neutrals, found objects, antiques, vintage, and simple and uncluttered. These things, whether our design is space themed, I believe these items will never go out of style. And that is why Farmhouse will never be dead.
That's right. I agree.
So that's why we're called Farmhouse Living.
And we will always be called Farmhouse Living.
Yep.
And we'll never go out of style.
And we'll never go out of style. So don't tell me. Yeah. So if you like touches of farm, don't be afraid to be called Farmhouse because it did go too far. I know there's a lot of people that are like anti-label Farmhouse. And if you don't want to be labeled anything, don't. Like,
right.
Just be you. Make your home special to you. This is my personality. This home reflects me, and that's okay too. But, so yeah, I love rooted in history. I love that it mixes well, and I love that it's timeless. So, Farmhouse forever.
We didn't even plan that.
No. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope that it made you want to incorporate the style into your home, but also that it helped you not be afraid to design with things you love. Don't be afraid that it's gonna go out of style quickly. Don't let, Pinterest design predictions throw you off your tracks.
Yes.
And create a home you love.
Yeah. So for more of this kind of video, like and subscribe, and
we have all of the tours and sources for things we've shown in the description below. Yeah. So, have a good day, guys. Bye.